live from Palm Beach, Florida. But first place we're going to go is Venezuela. Actually, we probably should go over on the Pacific near Colombia, because this effort against drug dealers and blowing their boats out of the water, which I am 100% in favor of, has now moved to the West Coast. The last strike I think it was on Sunday, maybe on Monday, was a boat, at least one boat, might have been more, and they killed 6 drug dealers and blew it apart. And it was bringing in drugs from Colombia in this case, not Nicaragua. And the communist president of Colombia, who hates America, and was a terrorist, by the way. So this guy got a lot of credibility. He was very upset that the drugs were intercepted. I don't know. What do you think?
Makes you wonder.
What do you think? And you know what he threatened? Colombian President Gustavo Petro said that as long as the boat strikes continue, his country will stop dealing with the U.S. Man, that's going to be a real blow to our economy. Gustavo, man, we're going to stop all interception of any drugs. So you and your guys and the guys you came from, the cartels that you came from, so that you guys can start, can make the maximum amount of money by killing our people. We're going to just stop that right away, because our trade with Colombia is, you're going to kill us if we can't trade with Colombia. I don't know if we can make it, Gustavo. Jesus, that was so powerful, Gustavo. Gustavo's the guy that when Trump raised the tariffs, he immediately folded. And when Trump said he had to take back the illegal alien, he said he never would. And Trump said we would just put 100% tariff on him. And then he sent a plane for them.
Right.
Gustavo, you don't do business with us and your country's going to go under, sweetheart. You think China can help you? China's going to want money from you. You know the problem Xi Jinping is in financially, and Putin is borrowing people from other countries to fight his war. And he's having a hard time now with the oil. He's got lines for oil, and he's got oil shortages. He's going into winter. He can come and help Colombia. He didn't do much for Assad. He was a lot closer to Assad than you were, right? The Israelis got rid of Assad like, go away, creep. So, Petro, you picked the wrong time to try to be pro-Chinese or pro-Russian, and honestly, your threat is kind of silly. But I never found that these FARC, I know the FARC terrorists really well. Right, they also threatened to kill me. They threatened, actually specifically threatened to cut my throat. That's the way they were going to kill me. They're going to cut my throat. See how frightened I am?
Yeah, they sound like real nice guys.
What's that?
Well, I don't think it's in English, so we won't play the video.
Is that him?
Is
that Petro?
That's Petro. But
is that the former terrorist?
Yeah.
Former drug dealer?
Right.
Former. Oh, look how eloquent he is with that little, whatever that is. What is he playing, the drums?
Right. Well, President Trump has responded. This is from a couple weeks ago, but this is President Trump's thoughts on.
In fact, if you're worried about Colombian coffee, just order Rudy coffee.
Right. We should be doing that anyway.
It's better.
Here's President Trump on Mr. Petro.
We're talking about now Colombia, the country, not the university. Yes. Go ahead. He said what? Well, he's a thug and bad guy. He's a guy that is making a lot of drugs. We've just, as of today, stopped all payments going to Colombia, the country Colombia. Also, the school Colombia. No, we settled. We made a settlement with him. But no, he's a thug. And he's a bad guy, and he's hurt his country very badly. They're doing very poorly, Colombia. They make cocaine. They have cocaine factories. They grow all sorts of crap that's drugs, bad drugs coming into the United States, goes generally through Mexico.
Love them.
And
when he
You
does
better
this.
watch it, or we'll take very serious action against him and his country. His country is what he has led his country into is a death trap.
It's a tragedy. This is a tragedy. I worked in Colombia both when I was with the government and with my private security company. Colombia, at the time that I worked there, one of the reasons it worked so well is Colombia has one of the best police organizations in Latin America, South America. Yes, they have corruption, but the least amount of it. And part of it is the police are kind of like a subsidiary or a part of the military, and they wear military uniforms. And the first instinct that John Houvain and I think even Bernie was with me at the beginning when we started working with them. In several of the cities in Colombia, is like a hero. We got crime down 50 and 60%. The president of Colombia won re-election and used our crime statistics as the basis for part of his re-election. So I really know Colombia. Wonderful people, really wonderful people. I thought they were so beyond this. I mean, they had an attack in the early century, in the 1990s, early 1990s, late 1980s, something like that. They had an attack on their Supreme Court by the FARC and the drug dealers together. The FARC was the Communist Revolutionary Group, and the cartels kind of operated with them. But the cartels were the most powerful cartels in South America, much more powerful than the Mexican cartels. Then the Mexican cartels now are much more powerful than they are. And they went into the federal Supreme Court with machine guns.
Right.
And because Colombia was cracking down on the drug dealers, they assassinated 13 Supreme Court justices. They wiped out just about their entire high court. And Colombia, the businessmen and even some of the politicians all got together and said, we can't sell out to them anymore. We can't. Either we're going to take a stand against them or we're just going to give up the government. And they engaged in a program that started with Bush, went through Clinton, Bush, probably was over by the time, no, it wasn't over by the time Obama. It was getting to be over. The American military went into the jungles of Colombia with them and trained them. And they used both the military and the police, and they did a very good job of destroying the FARC. And then they gave the ones that were left, and there weren't that many, gave them immunity. And I don't know if this guy comes from the FARC or the drug dealers, but he's one of the first. He's one of the first, if not the first, former terrorist to become a president of Colombia, or drug dealer, or both. So when the president says he's a thug, it's on very, very good authority. And the president made a very big mistake in doing the amnesty or the treaty or whatever. He did give amnesty to the FARC people if they, put down their arms and did all that other stuff. But originally, the agreement said they could never be part of public service. And he changed it under public pressure and allowed them, over a certain period of time to rehabilitate themselves. And this is what happened. So now they're back where they used to be, which is a damn shame. But I don't think it's going to last. Colombia did change, and I don't know how they elected this scoundrel, but I think they're going to dump him. I mean, the rest of South America now is slowly coming back. We have, Milei. We've had several right-wing victories. I think Maduro, seen his last couple of days. Colombians are very smart people, very well educated. Now, they've lost some of their brain. They've had a brain drain. I mean, an awful lot of very, very smart and successful Colombians are in America now. Probably not as much as Venezuela because they had 10 or 12 really good years. So this guy's on his way out. Meanwhile, the USS Ford has pretty much reached the shores of Venezuela. That's not sitting there, to get so the sailors and the pilots can get sun. There's a guy named Maduro that's a major drug dealer who has the blood of Americans on his hands by having done that. Also has the blood of Americans on his hands by sending so many murderers and rapists here, including the person who raped and killed Laken Riley. And I don't think President Trump likes him very much.
No. I got that from.
And I mean, I am really surprised. But Chavez is the one who destroyed Venezuela and made it communist. His hero was Che Guevara. Yeah, like the play, right? Che Guevara was another communist, atheist, murderer, pig, bastard. As bad as Castro. Romanticized by Hollywood. It's really unbelievable. All the movie actors that will go there. Sean Penn, is that his name? Sean Pitt or Sean Penn? Sean Penn. He used to go visit Castro all the time. But isn't he some kind of a gangster? Or does he just play gangsters?
Yeah, right. He's
Now, I don't want to say this, but I'm asking the question. Did he get caught beating up women or something?
Let me look into that. There's something out there on him.
But he loved Castro,
yeah.
or loves Castro. I guess he didn't mind that Castro. His original reaction to homosexuals was to put them in prison. Then when AIDS started, they isolated everybody with AIDS and put them in asylums. Ooh.
Madonna accused Sean Penn of physical abuse, which she later recanted.
Oh, she lied? Well, I mean, which is it? She lied one time or another.
She reported.
In other words, she tried to frame her husband.
Right.
She tried to get him in trouble. I could put him in jail. So she lied about that. That's Madonna. How is she entitled to use the name Madonna? I mean, she's a desecration.
Right.
But think about that. Now think about that. She accused her, what was he, a husband, a boyfriend, or what the hell was he?
Were they married?
Doesn't matter. Well, in any event, she accused Sean Penn of physical abuse, which is a crime if you weren't Sean Penn or Alec Baldwin or somebody, right?
Right.
Alec Baldwin can actually, I mean, it really is a shame what happened to him. He had that gun. He never pulled the trigger and it killed the girl.
Shot her in the point blank in the face.
No, that's because of climate change. The wind engaged the trigger of the gun.
He's still invited to Hampton parties.
And his finger never moved. Like his finger was on the trigger, pointed at the girl's brain, right?
Right.
And he never moved it. This climate change caused by Trump moved the trigger and killed the girl. Now she's just she's not like a big Hollywood actress, so she's not entitled to any kind of justice, right?
Right. No,
not if it's Alec Baldwin.
It's a Republican.
The great Alec Baldwin who called didn't he call his little girl fat pig or something?
That's right.
We've got allegations of banging people around too.
Right.
Not men his own size, but
no, definitely not. Definitely not.
So who's telling the truth, Madonna or Sean Penn?
That's a tough one.
Now, and which time did Madonna lie? When she tried to frame him, or when she said it wasn't true?
She's made the original allegations.
Can we all agree that she's a liar?
Yeah, right. Either way, she's a liar.
You see why I was a good lawyer? You can't get out of that one. You're lying one time or another. And they're both serious lies. If you lied the first time, right?
Right.
If you lied the first time, and now you're saying you lied, you put the guy at risk of going to jail for a crime he didn't commit.
Right. That's quite a Wow. Yeah, that's a. There should be some sort of.
And if you're
there should
lying
be
the
a red- you
second
should-
time, if you're lying the second time, you're letting a woman abuser go abuse some more women. Because very few guys abuse just one woman. And what kind of feminist would let a woman abuser just go free? So either way, she's a scoundrel,
Yes.
complete scoundrel.
Right.
And you wonder why I don't like these music people. They're all killing each other too. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Or they dying of drugs, or
It's
I mean, how many
bizarre.
how many of them have died of drugs?
right. I mean, a lot of the biggest names in the industry.
So let's make them legal, so more people can die of drugs.
It's absurd.
So the USS Ford is sitting outside of Venezuela, and we're hitting boats. Another good one 2 days ago, and who knows what else is going to happen. Meanwhile, President Trump has, as I mentioned on the other show, introduced the idea of a 50-year mortgage, which I think needs to be thought about really carefully, because you got to be careful. You want people to be able to afford to own their own homes. That afford part is important. You can't change the limit so much that the person really can't afford it and you're putting them into it. Isn't that what we learned from the 2007, 2008 crash, right? 2008 crash.
Yes.
So I mean, that one we would have to think about a little. I also think that the election that just took place and the polls and all that, you got to have a little, what's the Italian word for it? It's patience, a little patience.
Patience is a virtue.
And remember, this is the history of a lot of economic turnarounds in this country.
Right.
And the two I remember the best are, because I was there, is Ronald Reagan. It didn't happen all at once. It took a year and a half. Or me as mayor of New York. It was terrible after the first year. Yep. And by 2 years later, we had the strongest economy we probably ever had. Yeah, it's true. The American economy also helped us. But we were, for the first time ever, New York was functioning ahead of the, in other words, our unemployment number went down below the federal one. We were always, worse off than the government. All of a sudden, we were better than the government, federal government. But it took a while for the tax cuts and the reduction of staff, reduction of budget. It took a while for it to take effect. And then it took a while for people to recognize it took effect, because there's a lag time. That's why for re-election, it's got to change by June. If you go into September and then the economy becomes great, it's too late. That's even before early voting. That's what happened to Bush with Clinton.
Right.
Clinton ran on the economy stupid, and all of a sudden the economy took off. But it was too late. People had already been made up their minds. I mean, it didn't take off until the summer of the election year. And so Clinton got the best of both worlds. He won on accusing Bush of having a terrible economy. And this Bush handed him a ascending economy that was had about 3 years of life in it, at least. And Clinton found a way to screw it up, which is why he lost Congress.
Right.
Because he's a Democrat.
94.
And then he finally changed. That's when he changed and said, we're going to end welfare as we know it. Your stinking party put it all back. Yep, you borrowed workfare from me, and now, God forbid, if you said workfare, my God, you'd be thrown out of the Democratic Party, right?
Right.
You know the number one way in which Americans become millionaires? I said it on the last show. I want to see if you remember.
Right.
You know the number one way Americans become millionaires?
The Americans become
millionaires. Most people think it is the value of their home.
Stock options.
They can employer stock investments, which well over half the people who are employed engage in. So when you say that the stock market hit a record, the stock market is an indicator of mass wealth, middle class wealth, even in some cases wealth for poor people who are just starting in a job. Well, today it hit a record. Well, that affects 60% of Americans. And it affects the ones, and please don't get upset, it affects the ones that are really, in many ways, the most valuable because they're paying the bills. These are the people who are working, are paying the bills, let's face it, for the people who aren't. Where does the money come from to give them all the welfare that they've been giving them and all the health care benefits? Or to do something like people have Medicaid who are 500% above poverty, or not care if people can work, but they don't. I don't give them health care anyway, right. Or don't care how illegal they are, just give them health care. I mean, they could be here to rape women and they'll get health care. And there were many people here to rape women. We know that because the number of sexual crimes by these perverts is indecently high. Which brings me to the bishops. Yep. What the hell is wrong with them? What do they have their heads in the incense? The incense is getting to them.
It is.
I mean, they don't take a look at who the hell is coming in, right, and who the real victims are here. I mean, this group of illegal immigrants that came in were disproportionately horrible killers and murderers and thieves and rapists and the amount of perversion. How about America went from a country that had a certain amount of human trafficking to be the biggest country for human trafficking in the world? Bishops, that's because of the illegal immigration that you, through Catholic Charities, assisted. And you got millions and millions to do that, didn't you? And if we do cut off illegal immigration, the Catholic Charities, they get cut out. Is that affecting you? Oh, no, not a Catholic bishop. Wouldn't affect a Catholic bishop.
Well, we just have some breaking news we want to report. This happening just moments ago on the House floor. The House representatives have approved a crucial procedural vote to end the shutdown in a 213
and tell
209 vote.
How many? 6 Democrats. So how many? Tell me the Republican traitors so we can remember it.
Yeah,
let's see. Let's look at the vote. There were how many Republican? Well, there was no Republican nay votes.
No.
What, do they just not vote? 6.
Yeah.
Republican? On this thing, on the final vote, it was
6 no votes on the Republican side.
Where? Oh, no. Is that a no vote? They didn't vote.
No vote. We'll see what that.
So 6 Republicans didn't vote. Now, is that because they were, I can't imagine that anybody wasn't there. Not if you want to get reelected. Well, those are people who couldn't make up their mind. Well, those are the worst people in politics. You can't make up your mind. Can we find out who they are? Let's put names to that 6.
We'll work on that.
The 5 Democrats, no votes. I don't really care. No, but no Democrats voted for it, Ted.
Right.
Not according to that. Oh, well, that's good because look at the numbers. Ted's got them right here. Come look at them. Dr. Maria, look at them. You want to put it up again? Is that incorrect?
That was just a short video, but we'll put it up again.
Put it up again. Show the numbers. 213 yay Republicans, 209 nay Democrats.
That's not.
No yay Democrats and no nay Republicans. 6 no vote Republicans, who maybe are worse, and 5 no vote Democrats.
But it may be, did their flights not get in?
Yeah,
let's find out
we'll
who
look
they
into
are.
this. Yeah, we just need a second.
You see, by not voting, you reduce the majority needed also.
But they were just reporting that 6 Democrats. But
That may be the 6 no votes. The 6 no votes is like half a vote for it because it reduces. Think
where is my puppet?
you don't have to get a majority of the Congress. You have to get a majority of the people present.
Right.
You got to get a majority of the quorum. The smaller the quorum is, the smaller number of yay votes you need. So if you don't vote, you affect the yay vote by half.
Yep.
Half a vote. Want me to take you through the arithmetic?
So this is
So
I guess we had less no votes. They must have done a second one. Here's the new numbers. This is the call to the previous question. So, sometimes
I
it
gave people a chance to
gets a little messy, right?
fix their ass.
Which one's procedural?
Oh, I
which
can see.
one's
Now
not.
we're down to 3, but it's still 216 to 213. 216 yay votes Republican, no nay votes Republican. 213 nay votes Democrat, no yay votes Democrat. And it won by 3 votes. And 216 becomes a majority because I can't see the people who didn't vote.
4 total no votes, 3 Republicans, 1 Democrat.
So 216 would not be enough if those other people voted.
Right.
So they do. In fact, Democrats, by not voting, actually help the Republicans. Republicans not voting really hurt the Republicans because you would expect to get that entire vote, not just half of it. It's kind of interesting. But in any event, I really want to know who the scoundrels are who didn't vote for it.
And we'll try to find out who the no votes were here. But it is official.
I can't believe that any Democrats broke ranks. Who are they?
The final vote, the House passed it by a vote of 222 to 209.
Okay. So they let them vote again.
So they must have had some more votes, and eventually they got everybody up.
But I still want to know who the 6 are.
That were late.
Were they late or did they vote no, even being there? But if you tell me who they are, I mean, I'll know. But we can come back to that.
Yeah, we're looking into it.
In any event, that may be the reason the market hit a record today, because the government's coming back. Also, earnings, 80% of the earnings from the companies that reported were positive. Right. Not just positive, above expectation.
Right.
So those are all things that if you are worried about the economy and how is it going to be 6, 7, 8 months from now, all those things are enormously positive.
6 Democrats did vote yay. So this is the final vote.
They voted for it.
Yep. So here's the final vote we have up on the screen.
So the nay vote Democrats moved over and voted yay, is what happened, right?
Yeah. And 2 Republicans voted nay. Let's find out.
And the Republicans who didn't vote, 4 of them came over, or 3 of them came over because it was 213. 3 of them came over and voted yes, and 2 voted no. They just want to make a statement. Well, we should make a statement and take them out.
So we'll try to get the final vote totals here.
I got to tell you, Johnson did a great job.
Right.
With a crazy delegation.
So 2, I want to find out who those 2 are.
So the media is making a big thing out of how the Fannie Mae watchdogs.
Sorry, just real quick. Massey and Greg Stube of Florida are the 2 no votes.
Massey?
Massey.
Well, he's terrible. Yeah, and who else?
Greg Stube of Florida, here in Florida.
Good, Greg.
They prioritize fiscal concerns.
Stube. What fiscal? Okay. Well, so they play this as if this is real. Even the Wall Street Journal does, because they have decided, the Wall Street Journal has decided that the case against Letitia James, I don't know, it shouldn't be brought or something like that, that it's like political. She lied on her mortgage application. She wasn't living in the house. She was renting it out. She was renting it out to career criminals who had 13 police calls at that spot. And the main tenant was a fugitive. And the main thing is nobody in the neighborhood ever saw Letitia James. And you can't miss her if you see her. right?
Right.
We've seen her. You can't miss her. In other words, she never lived there, and she lied about it. Now, why she do it? So she could pay less money. That's called cheating. Nobody's above the law, Letitia, except even the Wall Street Journal. So now the guy who did this is, I mean, he had to know. Bill Pulte had to know they were going to try to crucify him, right?
Right.
Because he got her. He got probably one of the most crooked men in the world. It's too bad it's only this, but hopefully there'll be more. Who's one of the most crooked men in the world, aside from Biden?
Right.
Do you know who? Shifty Schiff.
Shifty Schiff. So I'm getting the number.
So Shifty Schiff did the same thing. He lied, and Lisa Cook lied.
Well, imagine that.
In order to get,
Imagine that.
in order to cheat the government or the bank out of revenue. And in the case of the Attorney General in New York, it's completely absurd. Now, she did this with 2 houses, and the one she actually lives in. And then she has the nerve to prosecute Trump on a completely phony fraud case where there was no loss. And fraud, the definition of fraud is loss. But the Post, I mean, the Journal plays it as if this is like a real case. They're investigating Pulte for a very, very serious crime. You know what it is? You know what they're voting?
Yeah,
here's what they are investigating: the head of the Federal Housing Finance Agency and the chairman of the board of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. He inappropriately looked at the financial documents. Well, if anybody can look at the financial documents involving the agencies, he's the head of the agency. How is that inappropriate? What the hell's inappropriate about it? The only reason it's inappropriate is because it was a stinking lie. Yeah. Who is going to enforce the laws against people telling the truth about their primary residency if the head of the agency can't look at the records? And if you say, oh, he was tipped off or it was political, well, the things that were wrong with the Trump thing, of course it was political, but they also were frame-ups. They weren't true. Like we demonstrated last night about the so-called alternate electors. There was no fraud in the alternate electors. They were described as alternate electors. It's been done 3 times before, which the press never reported until Ed Martin put it in the report and showed in the 1960 election, John Kennedy did it. Actually had the alternate electors named, put up their names just the way we did. And then after the Electoral College votes were over and the court changed the state of Hawaii from Nixon to Kennedy, his electors were substituted for Nixon's electors. And it happened twice before. And the crooked press never told you that.
That is such fake news.
That's great.
You're fake news. Listen, you're fake news. You're fake news.
I was going to do that last night with the BBC, but I forgot. I've had this for a long time. My granddaughter loves it. I don't know if I still have them. Look, my granddaughter, particularly when she was 2 and 3.
Right.
Caroline, that's my daughter's name. Grace. And they look alike. Yeah. She looks like my daughter. She was here the other day. Oh, she's terrific. Listen.
Fake news. Fake news. Fake news.
I like the triple one.
Right.
That's what I have to say about what they're doing to Bill Pulte, who, by the way, is a hero for having found these scoundrels.
Right.
And for straightening out the process. How many people lie on their applications? That's good.
Yeah.
So a lot of people lie, so we should let the public officials off who do it.
Right. What a ridiculous.
No one is above the law.
That's what
except big fat me. No one's above the law, says Shifty Shift, except little puny you. And Cook, I don't know. Cook's case is a little more complicated. I gotta say, Cook's case has some complications in it, which will always happen. There'll be some that have complications in it.
Of course.
But these other two are just they wrote down primary residence, and it wasn't.
Right.
And there was a motive to do it. They got money. They saved money. Jeez. I've prosecuted enough cases to figure out that's a pretty damn good case. So there was an interview that my good friend Miranda Devine did with my other good friend, Janine Pirro, and it talks about the changes that she thinks has to be made so that the great gains that the president was able to achieve in the District of Columbia very quickly are maintained, and they're mostly in the laws where people are let out without bail. Criminals are put right back down on the street, or like the juries in the District of Columbia. They are well, the whole place is like, what, 90% Democrat? I don't know, 2% Republican. They're either all Democrats or independents who are left leaning.
Right.
And they also seem to all believe in criminals should just walk the streets.
Right.
And Republicans should be crucified, and J6 people should be put away forever.
Right.
If a guy beats the shit out of an old lady on the street and he's one of the Washington scum, they go right back out. But if some guy happens to have been in the Capitol taking pictures and he's a MAGA guy, right, he has the great honor of having FBI and police show up pretending to be Nazi stormtroopers with machine guns. And then they put him in jail without bail because he's going to lead another insurrection when nobody had a gun. Just exactly how were they going to do this insurrection?
How is that going to happen?
They're going to take on the United States military if Nancy Pelosi ever let them get there.
Right.
Come there. Well, she admitted that she didn't want them. Of course she didn't want them there. This is my belief, and it's an allegation. From everything I can see, here's what there's not an allegation. The thing was completely concocted.
Yep.
Certainly to the extent of exaggerated beyond all reality.
Of course.
And I knew that the night that it happened because
You did.
I got the video that nobody wants to pay attention to. The video that, and I wish Miranda had asked Janine about this. When are they going to get justice for Ashley Babbitt? There's no statute of limitations on murder. That case was not properly investigated. Not only that, I read the grand jury testimony. The officer who killed her was not properly questioned. He wasn't asked if he was in reasonable fear of his life when he blew her brains out. Of course, it would have been a joke if he said he was, since he was surrounded by cops on both sides. Also, if he had any irrational fears, they should have been directed to the two people who were trying to knock the door down with a weapon, with something that can be used as a weapon. And one of them is an Antifa guy, but they don't want to identify him. He should have shot them if he had panicked. Not the unarmed woman who was either jumping over the parapet or being thrown over it, because there was only one place she was going to land when she came down, and that was on our backside or front side. And he had about, within calling distance, about 6 or 7 cops, which you look at the video carefully, you can see. Also on her side, there were some of those, Gestapo dressed up cops with the big machine guns. And they're just watching while they broke into Nancy Pelosi. Not only that, there were 2 cops in front of Nancy Pelosi's entrance, 2 big ones. And the Antifa guy and the other guy talked to him, and 2 cops gave up, said, fine. They just walked away and let him stop banging the door down with no interruption by the guys with the machine guns. It's like they wanted them to get into Pelosi's office. Did you know that, Nancy? The Capitol Police just stood there and watched them break your door down. Not only that, the 2 big, giant, strong Capitol policemen that were standing there moved away so they could knock the door open. So they could get in and put what did that one guy do? It was a sacrilege. He put his feet on her desk.
Mm-hmm.
How long did he go to jail for putting his feet on her desk?
Months,
Well, they also held him.
maybe years.
Well, they held him without bail.
Right.
They,
Yeah.
they don't
For
hold
what?
people who do knifings in New York without bail. We got people that have been arrested 45 times and they keep getting released. He put his feet on her desk. I mean, just what I mean. And one guy left money for her. He took something and he left money for her. Or he broke something and he left money there. I've forgotten who that was. Maybe that was the funny guy who ran all around and
Right.
and the cops escorted him to every place he went. They even opened the door of
the shaman.
they opened the door of the house chamber for him.
Mm-hmm.
They went and got
welcomed him in.
keys.
Come on in.
Come on in. How about this? We can go back and get the video, but we will go through all that at some point. But they actually the cops held the door for him.
Yep.
How's he supposed to know he shouldn't go in there if they held the door for him?
Right.
You get convicted of, I mean, it was sort of a dressed up trespassing charge, right?
Mhm.
Although this is the people's house, the trespassing. How would you possibly think? How would you possibly think you were trespassing if you came into my house? You had no gun. I had a nice big gun right here. These cops do, right? Plus, I had other cops with machine guns. And I opened the door of my bedroom and I hold it open for you. And you walk into the bedroom. Did I let you go in?
Right.
Someday soon, you're all going to find out the real truth about January 6th. And when we say this is the worst thing that happened in the history of the country, the worst thing, it'll be among the group of things, the worst things that happened in the history of our country. I don't know, was the 51 spies who lied, who were responsible for our intelligence in the prior 20 years, who just lied blatantly to fix an election? Did that demonstrate how horrible they must have been as intelligence officers? Does that explain why we were so screwed up and made so many mistakes? These are the same people. They're still being put on television and being asked questions as if they're really honest people. Or was the worst thing that they did indicting Trump 4 times and trying to put him on trial 4 times in the election year, and then claimed they weren't trying to interfere with the election, even though none of the cases could really pass any kind of legal muster in anything that approached a fair legal system? Was it the attempt to kill him twice? Where we don't know anything about the people who did it. These are the only people who just appeared. They just showed up that day, and one of them, almost killed him, and the other one would have if it weren't for the fact that the Secret Service agent saw him and started shooting at him. Although we shot at him 5, 6 times and missed him. The guy who shot at Charlie Kirk just took 1 shot, huh? That guy had gone to Ukraine. He gets tried. We don't find anything out about why did he go to Ukraine or.
Right.
China. 2 pieces of news about China. First of all, remember how Xi Jinping said he was going to let us have let us have all the rare earth and the special minerals that we need. Well, now he's setting up what is known as a validated end user system, and he's going to give us everything that we want, except it can't be ultimately for the military.
Right.
Well, I have to say, what is happening to them right now, however, it sounds like we haven't really changed very much either. They are having a very serious shortage of advanced semiconductors. It's so acute that the government is now intervening and trying to get them the chips that they don't have because they're not coming from America. and they don't have and the Namidia chips that they're supposed to get. The only ones they have right now are ones they smuggled in, and so the government is in a panic. And the technicians that are working on chip processing equipment are, in many cases, just idle. And Hawaii Technologies that 2 years ago everybody predicted would control is like really, really falling behind.
Right.
So I guess this is the way to play it with China. They'll promise to do it, won't. We'll promise to do it, won't. But since we're 2.5 size their economy, we can choke the bastards. The Communist Party, I'm talking about, not the people of China. They're the victims. You're damn right they're the victims. Probably there's nobody in the world that has killed more of his own people than Xi Jinping, who got a hero's welcome by Governor Newsom of California, a parade where the Chinese people were forced to cheer for the person who killed more of their own people than anyone alive. Now Governor Newsom was down in Brazil.
Yeah, you
And
see that?
Governor Newsom is very upset because Trump is going to do drilling off California. And okay, he's a lot of things, but I got to tell you one thing, please. Just because his hair is all fixed up, and I'm not jealous because I don't have any hair. I'd rather
You
have,
got hair.
first of all, I'd rather have brains and a conscience than hair.
You have-
He has hair, but he doesn't have brains or a conscience. And why do I say he doesn't have brains? He is articulate, but articulate people can be really stupid. Because what he charged Trump with, his challenge to Trump was moronic. He said, Trump is going to drill off Los Angeles and California. Let's see if he'll drill off Florida. First of all, what Trump did was, based on a court opinion that held, he's opening up drilling in 3 places. One is in the Pacific, and the other 2 are in the Gulf of America, which the Wall Street Journal insists on calling the Gulf of Mexico. So we were supposed to do this a long time ago. He had started this, and then at the very end of his administration, without getting proper comment of any kind, because he was a dictator, the auto pen decided that we were going to give up these leases, even though they're on federal land. And they stopped all drilling in these 3 places. It went to court, and final decision of the court, the auto pen acted illegally. Well, they said Biden, but we know it wasn't Biden. I bet if you,
That's funny.
I mean, I don't bet, but if I did, I would bet a lot on the fact that it's the auto pen that signed it.
Right.
So the 3 places were selected really by the court decision.
Right.
So a moron doesn't have the discipline to find that out. The second thing is, and this is what struck me originally when he said it, hey, bozo, who says they have oil off the shore of Florida? We know they have a tremendous amount of oil off the shore of California, up and down. And we know they do in the Gulf of America. We've been taking it out of there for years. I don't remember any oil discoveries in Florida. Do you? So yeah, you could start looking, but it would take you, if you found it, it would take you 20 years to get there. That's really going to help. Let's do a 20-year project off Florida just on the possibility that it has oil. And just so we make new scum.
Yeah.
He should feel good about something. He's ruined his state. I mean, the best indication that he's a shitty governor is the fact that more people flee California than New York or New Jersey, maybe. That's their contest. This is what they're so proud of. This year, one of them will be crowned the state or city that has lost the most people this year. And they keep trading the championship.
Right.
Because their governments are corrupt, ignorant, and Marxist. And now the one in New York is going to go.
Right.
But he's in Brazil also criticizing the president of the United States. That used to be considered unpatriotic. But that's nothing compared to the unpatriotic things this scumbag does. Nothing. And who really cares if he can, in Brazil? Brazil is governed by a criminal.
Yeah.
Lula, who came out of jail. And Bolsonaro was almost killed. And then they framed him because he complained about the election and they didn't cheat. Lula is like the guy from Colombia. He's the first indigenous guy to get elected. He stole everything that wasn't.
Come on. You are fake news. Okay? You're fake news.
If Lula came into your house, you'd have to nail it down. Get your hands off my dishes. I know. I worked there too in Brazil.
Right.
In fact, not only worked in Brazil, I walked out because I got the feeling they were trying to bribe. And that was the so-called legit, not Bolsonaro. Bolsonaro was an independent. That was the more legitimate of the two parties. Right. Lula was in jail at that point. He was already in jail. And his girlfriend was running the country. She went to jail too, I think. And now he's running the country into the ground. He's really gone wild now, because now they elected him or they cheated and made him the president, probably the latter. So now he's like a dictator. And of course, he's trying to become, like they all do in the banana republics. He wants to be president for life or whatever, dictator for life.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be the Castro. And this is where the guy goes. And he complains that Trump didn't go. And Trump didn't go because they're pretty close to a communist country who hate America. And the guy's a massive thief. Even his own people know he's a thief. They kind of respect him for it. But he's so, I don't know if he lacks two things, a conscience and a brain. So what else does he got? Hair. He's got hair. And he's in Hollywood, so they don't really give it. As long as he got hair.
Right.
And he can repeat whatever, You have any pictures of him saying, of the moron saying this? Come on, Trump, drill off Florida. Why don't you drill off the shore of Nebraska? But there's no water. There's no water. What's the difference? There's got to be some lakes. Nebraska might not be bad. You might be able to do fracking there. Do you know what that is, Dopey? You know what fracking is, Newscrum?
It's a bad word. That's all I know.
You know what fracking is? Or horizontal drilling? You know what that is? You probably don't. The guy has completely decimated the state of California. You cannot believe how bad it is, except if you look at New York and New Jersey. Mondani is, was Mondani going to come in and become go to the middle? And we just hired his chief of staff. His chief of staff is a bigger communist than he is. It was his chief of staff when he was in the assembly. She's also an extremely dedicated member of the Democrat Socialists of America, which is officially designated by our intelligence service as a communist party and an enemy of the United States. Or how should I put it? Dangerous to the national security of the United States. I would say that's an enemy of the United States. And she is an enormously enthusiastic member who kept them with him and had him moderate his statements. Can you imagine what he would have said if he didn't moderate his statements? I don't know what he moderated. He's gonna have government-owned grocery stores. You're gonna have free buses, free childcare. He's not going to allow any development of schools, private or public, that aren't controlled by the teachers union. Meaning, you can do it. He's not going to expand the charter schools, which are the only schools that have improved reading and math scores this year. The others plummeted.
Yep. The
ones controlled by the Communist Teachers Union. He's going to arrest Bibi Netanyahu when he comes to New York. She was the architect. This is her contribution was the Department of Safety, which is going to take $1 billion out of the police department. That's not defunding the police, and hire social workers to go to domestic disputes and other similar kinds of criminal actions instead of the police. That will end when the first one gets killed.
Yeah.
When the first one walks in and gets killed, or when they stop going because they'll be scared of their minds.
Wow.
You have any idea what policing domestic violence is like? You stupid little bum.
Yeah.
Entitled little shit. You have any idea what it's like to go into a domestic dispute? I had a police officer lose his life doing that. You little shit. I don't know. I really don't know what's wrong with the people in my former city.
Man,
it's really sad. But you could say the same thing about Los Angeles or Chicago or
San Francisco.
San Francisco. I mean, I thought the comment of Rob Schmidt is one of the most funniest I've ever heard. Chicago keeps electing the dumbest man in Chicago as mayor or woman.
Dumbest person in town.
The dumbest. Let's go see if we can find the dumbest person and make him the mayor.
And we haven't even talked all these Midwestern
And they're all
cities.
Democrats, by the way, for 75 years.
Yeah, and these Midwestern cities they destroyed generations ago. Detroit, Michigan's been a...
Well, Seattle just got a socialist mayor over a crazy progressive Democrat.
So mayor, well,
the mayor of Seattle was office rocker, left, but they got a communist instead now.
Right.
A woman Mandani.
Right.
And a couple of others. What happened in Minneapolis? The baby mayor won, right? The one who gave up the police station.
That's a good question.
He won very close. He beat the Muslim communists by a few votes. But I mean, that's great. I mean, does it matter? This is the guy who gave up the police station that helped to create riots all throughout America. I never heard of a mayor that gave up a police station. And how you can remain mayor if you gave up a police station, the people of your city, well, what am I going to say? Minneapolis, the people of Minneapolis are like the people of New York. Right. They keep electing these same people. And like in Chicago, they don't pay attention to the number of people that die every weekend. How about just the other day, the ICE people are being attacked by a mob. Police don't help them. And a guy starts shooting at them. Police don't help them.
Who would have thought here we are, thankful that the boy mayor won. It's
honestly, I'm not. You know my thinking on Mandani. That if we had to elect another Democrat, let's elect the craziest one possible. Because maybe, I mean, New York needs a radical surgery.
Right.
And it needs to be confronted with just how irresponsible its voters are.
Right.
And if that doesn't do it, then nothing's going to do it.
Right.
Then you might as well figure there'll be another city that'll be the top city in America.
Oh gosh.
Well, probably in the South, or where crime is down and people. I mean, for some reason, people will do stupid voting in the ballot box, but then with their feet, they do very smart voting.
Get up and leave.
So they ruin the city and they leave. They vote these people in by margins of 20, 30, 40%. And then these are the places people are fleeing. And I wonder, I imagine it's not the same people.
I mean, the fact that Curtis only got like 7% of the vote tells me everything I need to know about the voters in New York City.
Well, that was understandable since everybody.
Okay, you're right. The Cuomo.
Just think of all the people that abandoned him.
Right, but I guess all right. So I stand corrected. You're right. They were going for the.
And you don't think that cost us that seat in the city council in the Bronx?
Oh,
and she lost by like 100 votes. You don't think the down ballot wasn't affected by?
That's got to be tough.
Even Republicans telling people to vote for the guy who accidentally killed all those old people.
Had quite a few allegations against him too, but
the women allegations, I don't know. You never know.
You never know. It was more than one or two, though. That's what I'll say. I agree.
How about it was a dozen?
A dozen, yeah. I agree with you, Mayor.
We almost kept the guy off the Supreme Court with a phony singular one.
Yeah, we're automatically skeptical when one of these things come out, a charge against, from a. But when there's 12, I mean, that's more than.
See, I actually think they did that so they could take him out on that, and then didn't have to resolve the killing of the old people.
I think you're right, but he may have made it easier to do if he were in fact engaging in inappropriate behavior, right? which he hasn't been.
How do I know? I have no
Charged.
idea. What I do know is that he's a liar.
He did resign over it.
I do know that he's a liar. His inappropriate behavior never got resolved. I don't know what his criminal behavior is never got resolved either. I mean, nobody investigates all those people that were stuck in nursing homes, didn't have to go there. And he lies about it. Nobody investigates it. And nobody ever brings out, to this day, just how much money did the nursing homes give him? A lot. Maybe they were his biggest contributors. Do you ever think that might have been the reason? See, if it was a Republican, they'd come up with that reason if it was false.
Right. Yeah.
It's
Right.
unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
How it works.
We put that stupid idiot congressman in jail for lying about his resume.
Santos.
Yeah,
who's
but
now out.
who really deserves to go to jail because he's so stupid.
Yeah.
This guy
Potentially killed thousands of people.
Yeah, I mean, you put old people in a nursing home when the only people who are going to die from COVID are old people just about, and you don't make proper provisions for separating them, which the law requires, and then you claim you didn't know about it. That was 15,000. You didn't know about it, and you tell about 4 different versions of it, and nobody has the guts to ask you about the campaign contribution. So that would have been the other choice. It's a quick death or a slow death.
Right.
And the quick death, you might react to more dramatically.
Right.
I mean, and the history of the city, this isn't said just, crazily. The history of the city has always been, unlike Chicago, which elects Democrats no matter what. I mean, the Democratic mayor could burn the city down like Nero and they'd reelect him. Or when things get bad enough, it has been the history of New York that they revolt and elect an independent or Republican. Right. In fact, those are the only good mayors in the history of the city. Really good mayors. I mean, you might consider Koch a good mayor, but he had more scandals than you can count. And some prosecutor made a great reputation putting all those people in jail.
Right.
I knew him. He was a really good prosecutor. He was actually honest. I mean, it's not unusual.
Right.
But in any event, I mean, Koch is about the best you're going to find, and he was like 50-50. He was very good on some things, and he was awful on others. And keeping control of the Democratic swine around him was non-existent. They're stealing money left and right. I mean, millions and millions of dollars in bribes. I mean, the entire city government was under him, was corrupt. And in his case, honestly, it was because he wasn't paying attention. His head was in. And he was on balance between Wagner and me, he was probably the best mayor with all the corruption. Hell of a lot better than Dinkins, a hell of a lot better than Abe Beam, who didn't even know he was mayor. A hell of a lot better than John Lindsay, who started off the whole thing in the first place and changed from Republican to Democrat. And then Wagner was the mayor. There were better times and easier times. And the city was crooked as hell. The mayor before Wagner was an interim mayor in Pelletier. Mayor before that, they chased him out of town. Truman made him ambassador to Mexico because they were going to indict him. And his chief of staff took the fall and claimed he kept all the bribe money for himself. That's Mayor O'Dwyer. And then LaGuardia. And then the mayor before LaGuardia was Walker, who was taken out by Roosevelt because he was such a big crook. And Roosevelt didn't want him in office when he was running for president. I mean, there are going to be a few little exceptions here, but you can say this probably with about 90% of confidence. Every Democratic mayor in the history of New York City since Boss Tweed either has been a crook or has turned his back on it and let it go on. The city is systemically corrupt. Its judicial system is systemically corrupt, which is a real tragedy. And all Mondami is going to do is not do anything about the corruption because his interest is in making it into a communist city. I mean, he also announced, I don't want any billionaires in the city. I don't think anybody should be a billionaire. Who the hell does he think puts up the big money so he can give it away?
Right. Right. Well,
Well,
I mean, and there's a lot of questions for example, Mom Donnie, where some of his campaign funds came from.
so he also named as his head of what is he? Oh, as his top lawyer in the city, which is a very important position, the Corporation Counsel, the guy who ruined and created the homeless crisis in New York, Steve Banks. He came in right after. Mayor. He came in right after. He come in? No, he wasn't Mike's appointment. He was de Blasio's appointment, right? So he came in and
This is
his name is Stephen Banks. Worked for de Blasio, ruined home. It's acknowledged that he homelessness was pretty much under control. It is true that it slipped a little, but it was still pretty much under control when de Blasio took over, and then it just went crazy, doubled, tripled. I wrote about it at the time. Well, the guy who did it and was a tremendous failure was Stephen Banks. He's now going to be Mondami's top lawyer. And the guy he made his first deputy mayor, who's 73, and they were all saying, "Oh, he's got great experience." He started working for Shelley Silver, who was probably the biggest crook in the last 50 years in New York. And he presided over budgets that have bankrupted the city and the state. I think it'd be a great appointment. So we want you to go over now to Dr. Maria, not because I'm a guest, but she has a great show. And she's going to follow up on a lot of these topics that we didn't cover. You go over to Lindell TV right now. Come back to us tomorrow. And remember, tomorrow at noon, da-da-da-da, you have to have our thing right.
you got to get that ready, yeah.
Common Sense returns. So this is an opportunity for me to delve into a subject in a little more detail, so you can get the background and you can make you can have a basis on which you make your own decision. You agree with me? Don't agree with me? So we're gonna interview Michael Francisi on the first interview. Michael Francisi is a former, very, very high-ranking mafia member at a very young age. Called at one point in the 80s the Prince of the Mafia, one of the 8 most wealthiest men in the mafia, who flipped around in the 90s. And since then has been devoted to Jesus Christ, his family, and helping people turn their life around. Over 2,000 speeches and confrontations, and he's going to explain to you things about the mafia life, criminal life, how you turn it around, and also the gambling problem that we're seeing developing. So that'll be on at noon tomorrow. You go to X, if you're on X right now, you see the subscribe thing, you hit it. And then every week, there'll be at least one, and there'll be other things on there too for you, where we can go into greater depth and share things with you, and you can share with us. So again, pray for the people of Israel and the people of the Ukraine, and the people of Iran, people of the United States, and pray for our president, who's got the weight of the world on his shoulders and is handling it, oh gosh, better than just about anyone. God bless America. It's our purpose to bring to bear the principle of common sense and rational discussion to the issues of our day. America was created at a time of great turmoil, tremendous disagreements, anger, hatred. There was a book written in 1776 that guided much of the discipline of thinking that brought to us the discovery of our freedoms, of our God-given freedoms. It was Thomas Paine's Common Sense, written in 1776, one of the first American bestsellers, in which Thomas Paine explained, by rational principles, the reason why these small colonies felt the necessity to separate from the Kingdom of Great Britain and the King of England. He explained their inherent desire for liberty, for freedom, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, the ability to select the people who govern them. And he explained it in ways that were understandable to all the people, not just the elite. Because the desire for freedom is universal. The desire for freedom adheres in the human mind, and it is part of the human soul. This is exactly the time we should consult our history. Look at what we've done in the past and see if we can't use it to help us now. We understand that our founders created the greatest country in the history of the world, the greatest democracy, the freest country, a country that has taken more people out of poverty than any country ever. All of us are so fortunate to be Americans. But a great deal of the reason for America's constant ability to self-improve is because we're able to reason, we're able to talk, we're able to analyze. We are able to apply